For more on today's developments, I want to welcome in former Assistant U.S. Attorney Jeff Robbins, who previously served as Chief Counsel to the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. Jeff, let's start with the big headline here, a vote to subpoena former President Trump. How significant is that, and do you believe that he'll ultimately testify under oath?
No, before Donald Trump comes to answer questions about this under oath, not only will pigs fly, but they will circumnavigate the globe. This is somebody who's already pled the fifth more times than Jimmy Hoffa, and he hasn't even gotten started. His lawyers can't possibly permit him to do that, assuming he even really wants to, because it would open himself up to, I don't know, the sixth or seventh or eighth level of potential criminal culpability. On the other hand, by refusing to show up, he also opens himself up to another level of potential criminal culpability, namely a referral to the Department of Justice for contempt of Congress.
What would be the potential punishment now that he's been subpoenaed if he decides not to show up?
A year in prison, potentially, just as Steve Bannon has been convicted of, I guess, 2 counts of contempt of Congress and faces potentially 2 years in prison. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but when you add potential contempt of Congress to 300 or so potential counts of violations of the Espionage Act and obstruction of justice, at this point, there's evidence that would qualify the former president for induction into the Obstruction of Justice Hall of Fame. So it's a relatively small piece of the potential criminal culpability that he faces, but it does add to that body of potential criminal culpability.
Trump responded to today's hearing in a post on his conservative social media platform, Truth Social. He did not say whether he would comply, but he did call the committee a, quote, total bust. In your estimation, has the committee done its job?
The committee has done an unbelievable job. I mean, it is so hard to put together hearings of much less complexity than this, and to do so in a way that grabbed the public attention, in some ways contrary to the predictions of many of us, makes it that much more of an achievement.
Take us inside the Justice Department, which is still investigating possible attempts by President Trump to overturn the election. What do federal prosecutors do now when it comes to the January 6th committee?
I think that the body of evidence of intent to overthrow the election in its various forms, knowledge by the former president that what he was doing was fomenting violence, knowledge by the former president that he was trying to wrongfully subvert democracy, that's all evidence that does go into the Department of Justice's hopper as it considers the evidence of criminal intent that's so crucial to whether or not it brings indictments against him.
Do you think that it will?
I do. I don't necessarily think there's going to be an indictment for inciting the riots of January 6th. But what I think is likelier are indictments, A, based on these what seem to be violations of the Espionage Act and obstruction of justice surrounding those violations of the Espionage Act, and as well indictments based on the intent, the conspiracy, and the attempt, 2 separate statutes, to impede or obstruct the counting of electoral votes, as Judge Carter in California indicated there was a basis for doing so.
And as you well know, the Supreme Court denied an emergency request by President Trump to intervene in the investigation into classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago and allow the special master to review the material. Were you surprised at all that the Supreme Court didn't want to get involved?
No, I'm not, because the case, the appeal launched by the Trump team of the 11th Circuit's decision, which resoundingly rejected the district court's decision. The 11th Circuit's opinion was so well-reasoned, was so thoughtful, was so comprehensive, and was so decisive. I mean, in no uncertain terms, that court found that Judge Cannon, the Trump appointee who made the underlying decision, had abused her discretion, that she'd strayed from the law so dramatically that she had literally abused her discretion. So based on the 11th Circuit's decision and on the existing law, I'm pleased and not surprised that even this Supreme Court decided not to get involved.
Former Assistant U.S. Attorney Jeff Robbins, we thank you so much for your insight and time.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.